Hello, my dear carbon-based lifeforms. I bid you welcome to a new tutorial from Dolborg. This time we will have the second part of an exercise that will teach you how to create ball joints for the legs in your Lanard figures and how to create molds in order to reproduce them. These are the substances that we will use in order to make our molds. Although the brand is a local one, there is a number of alternatives that you can get in your own country. Select a soft silicone rubber intended to reproduce great detail and small pieces. We need the rubber to be ductile so that it easily flows through our originals. When given the chance, add a diluent to decrease viscosity and help the liquid conform to the shapes of our pieces. For starters, we will separate the parts of the legs that we completed in the last video and place them over a thick carton. Once we have cut a piece that's wide enough to accommodate all pieces, we will make a body bed over which the pieces will be mounted. We will cut a carton strip that is approximately the same size as the size of the bed's laterals, in order to create the walls of a box that is at least twice as tall as the height of the embedded pieces. We will glue it together and then use the rear side of a brush to make a series of holes that will keep the mold together once finished. We pour an amount of rubber that does not go beyond half of our bowl's height and add diluent in order to enhance its ability to flow through all the details in the originals. We mix it up to the point where the liquid has a uniform consistency, and then we add the catalyst. Most silicone rubbers need only around 3% of catalyst proportion, but in the hopes of helping the process to be swift, we commonly use around 10%. We use a blue tint added to the catalyst in order to better see how it integrates into the rubber by adding a soft shade of color to the mix. We add a second amount of catalyst after the first stirring in order to double check that the rubber cures efficiently. Once the mixing is over, with the spatula, we will pour the rubber over those parts that have the most details and the cavities that need to be covered at first instant. We pour the whole of the mixing up to the point the originals are completely covered, and we start tapping the sides of a mold in order to liberate the air bubbles that might have been trapped inside. Tilting the mold from side to side, we make the liquid mix to enter every possible detail in the sculpture, and we will use an X-Acto knife or a toothpick to burst the bubbles as they travel to the surface of the rubber. We will let it sit for a night or around 10 hours while the mix hardens, and the next morning we will cut away the base of the box we created. We also peel away the putty and clean the pieces on the carton walls from any remnant that we might have left behind. Using the trimmings of a plastic sprue and ABS filament, we will cut a series of pieces that will work as entries for the plastic that will make our pieces. We make holes in our originals for the thicker pieces and use super glue to join the smaller ones to the farthest regions on the originals, which therefore we place back into the mold. Using gray primer, we will paint the originals on the first half of a mold in order to avoid that the second half sticks to the raw, unprotected silicone as it pours over. We place the first half of a mold into the carton box and use a rubber band to fasten it up and avoid the new liquid silicone to leak. We mix the rubber with diluent and catalyst and replicate the mold filling process we already mastered. The next morning, our mold will be completed. We retire the original pieces, and with a hot glue gun, we will fill the cavities through the thicker entries that we made, up to a point the glue goes out through the smaller ones. In case that the glue does not exit by the thinner ports, we will use them to complement the filling process. We wait a couple of minutes for the glue to solidify. And we will extract the copies that we will paint with gray primer. Once painted, we will use our rotary tool to make holes for the posts that articulations need in order to be able to turn. Again, ABS filament and plastic sprues are good options to use for this purpose. We will cut the original hands and make holes in one side of them. Using super glue, we will place a couple of ABS filaments that later we will shape as the tail of a nail by using a hot lighter. We unify all pieces with the gray primer, and using either a toothbrush or spray cans whose bulbs go only halfway, we will texturize the figure with a series of black and white spots that will become the camouflage on its uniform. We paint every other needed detail, and we are done! Our costume is finished. As you can see, we used the mask with a cloth rubber band glued to its back so that it stays attached to the figure's head. We used a rifle that originally belonged to the Baroness from Rise of Cobra, and we kept the katana that the figure originally had. We ended up with a figure that has 360 degrees of movement in its head, a ball joint at the shoulders, and a cut in the arm that allows it to turn over its axis and also opens and closes. We created a swivel at the hands so that the figure is able to better hold his weapons, and the rubber band inside now allows it to turn in every possible direction. We have the two ball joints that we created for the hips that allow him to make wide splits and turn a little over the leg axis, also flexing the lower leg over 90 degrees. The new swivel articulation in the ankles will allow this soldier to adopt any possible stance. And thus, we have concluded our basic molding tutorial. We hope that you enjoyed it as much as we did while making it. This is it. Thanks for watching. Follow us everywhere in social media and maybe purchase one of our products today. If you want to watch more videos like this one, please subscribe and support Tolbor in Patreon. Your contributions will make it all happen. And remember, my carbon-based lifeforms, impossible is what we cannot dream of. Peace, and see you soon.